Hello, hello. It's me again, and this is part 5. Growing up, raised by a single parent, then find myself in those same uh, footsteps. Part 4. It was very emotional for me. The ending talking about the fish going to the river, getting the fish, and the man helping us out by giving us the fish. When I knew when I began to talk about it how emotional it was going to get, and all over again it just brings back so many memories of things that I went through. I wish I would have did it differently. I mean, way back then, but like they say, it is what it is. You can't change the past. It already happened. Can't bring back the past. I can only reminisce about it or talk about it or even think about it. At first, I was going to stop at 4 because this thing is real. It's as real as it can get. Being a single parent is not always easy. It is not always easy. But I thank God for, earlier I talked about how I wanted to be when I got older. I knew as a child how to fast. My grandparents, they fasted, and I knew how to fast. I knew how to pray. And not so much that I was in church. I went to church, but I wasn't saved. But I knew where my strength came from going to church. It just um, helped me out so much. um, we got food stamps. It seemed like the food stamps we got, it was never enough. But it's like we always ran out of food. Not so much ran out of food, but ran out of the necessaries of milk, eggs, butter, flour, sugar, pancakes, Pepsis. I wasn't even drinking Pepsis back then. At least I know I wasn't. Plus, we weren't that good managing money and even managing the food stamps, knowing how to spend them. Spend half the beginning of the month and half the second part of the month, getting a deep freezer, storing up. I'm sorry, storing up some of the, just storing up some of that things. And we weren't big spenders. We got the necessary things that we needed, but it still was never enough. Always lived in a nice place. I kept my places clean. We always seemed to have a car. I always made sure my children were clean, hair comb, clothes. Always made sure that that my children looked good because I didn't want them growing up to just being raggedy children. I guess that's what you want to call it. Like I said, I always stayed in church. Wasn't saved or anything, but I always stayed in church. Me myself, I never really had nice clothes. I had to, like I said, make sure that my children always look nice. I remember one time going to the store, getting, at this time it was only two of the children, getting some Easter clothes for my children. Well, their dad got upset about something. To this day I don't even remember what it was about. But he took the clothes back. He got the money. He took the clothes back. Oh gosh, that I'm just, uh, and mental abuse is almost worse than physical abuse. Mental abuse stays with you forever. I mean, I know the Lord can come in and remove it just like that. Some of those thoughts and some of those things that you went through, but I can't feel those hits and those punches. But like I was telling someone before, I do have a fractured nose. My nose is fractured. Didn't even know my nose was fractured. I went to the emergency room for something, and they said, "Ma'am, you're fine, but did you know you have a fractured nose?" And instantly, I remember where that fractured nose came, where that fractured nose came from. When a person belittles you so much, you almost, hey, glory to God, you almost begin to believe it. But God, I think, I just thank God. My life as a single parent, mm, I knew it was getting closer and closer to reality. I knew I couldn't live the rest of my days like this. I was in the shelter with my first child. I wasn't in there very long, but it didn't matter. One day was too long to be in a shelter. And what had happened was he had took, you know, I, back then you got checks, so I got in a welfare check, and he took it. He took the money, wouldn't give me the money back. So that was just too much for me. I couldn't take it, so I ended up going to a shelter. Like I said, I wasn't there long, but a shelter. That's when my shelter life began with the first child. All right, look out for part number 6.